If there's one thing I learned about life is when you want to travel to some places, at least you could do is put some respect in certain countries that don't tolerate modern Western behavior. So what we're about to talk about, y'all, and I know this is just like a late video, but I saw this on YouTube and I seriously questioned society as a whole. Is the what gave them that right to go to Dubai, Udana, to bring that ghetto ratchet US nonsense to their home countries and thinking that everybody is supposed to be okay with your actions. There's a fine line between going places and acting a fool. If you could just somehow not do those both things in the world, I think the world and the country is going to respect you for who you are. And so that leads me to believe that the 304 culture is running wild in the worst way possible. And I'm going to tell you why. They think they could just go places and act a fool, shape their thought pockets. Oh, I got a BBL. I got big titties. I got a vagina. Like, you are pretty much letting the whole world know that you're not taking accountability for your actions. Not to mention, you refuse to grow up. Grown women going in countries and they're doing this. So, according to Tiara right here, she is a trucker. She works for the trucking industry that is mostly dominated by men. I mean, what I'm not understanding is that even though she knows about the truck industry, she learned all of that from her father. But as far as like being a slut goes, creating TikToks, claiming that she's been sexually harassed at the job, maybe it's because you've been bending over, shaking your thought pockets on TikTok while you're promoting your company, your career. What did you think was going to happen? Nobody is going to respect you and take you seriously if you do that, honestly. So unless you have a different career path, even though you chose to do trucking, you wearing tight clothes and revealing outfits, yoga pants, shaking your fake BBL on social media, try to get men's attention. This is pretty much an L on your part, sweetie. So we're not going to waste more time. Let's just get to the article. Tierra Young Allen, a Houston woman, is detained in Dubai after an altercation with a rental car company employee. She is charged with the crime of screaming, which is punishable in Dubai. Efforts are being made to resolve the situation with the help of lawyers and consulate officials. Now, I never knew that if you scream at a person in a country called Dubai, you're going to get charged with a crime. Now, their crimes are way different here in the West. Like if you killed somebody, if you committed adultery, if you're being charged with first or second degree murder, you're going to get in and up with a lot of years or possibly life in jail. So in Dubai, if you yell at a person, if you scream and being all ratchet and carrying on, you're gonna get locked up and you will be arrested. So I think that pretty much lets us know that if you go to certain countries where their laws are very strict, you better respect the law in the country, because if you don't, chances for you surviving in that place, in that area, are very low. Since you must have thought that you're from the US, you're gonna bring that type of attitude into their country, where their country is known for being respectful. They wait for marriage to have sex, to have kids, and they're not running around screwing everybody with high body counts and all of that. just hoeing around. Like, those countries are way more respected than here in the US, where freedom is everywhere. But the way they're going about it is they're breaking the law by doing way extra. Now, you see, what Tara might have thought that says her and her friends are going to Dubai, even though she is fooling around in trucks, because we know that she is a trucking expert. But the last time I checked in Dubai, they don't allow women to drive trucks over there. They want them to be in their feminine role instead of try to take on a man's mantle by driving trucks and all of that, which you know that's not allowed over there. And honestly, I kind of feel like if you want to do all of that, that's on you. But it's unfortunate that we all know who raised her to be this way. Because I believe there's going to be some more information going into this, and it might be worse from here. Tierra Young Allen, a woman from Houston, Texas, has been detained in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Her ordeal began during a vacation in April 2023 when she was a passenger in a friend's rental car that was involved in the accident. While Allen and her friend were unharmed in the collision, their car was impounded and Allen's personal belongings were withheld. Okay, so they were involved in a car accident. Maybe they were just fooling around over there, which they knew better not to do that. I think there might be some more information going into this because I feel like black women in America, they have a bad track record of going in these countries and acting a ratchet and carrying on being a 304s and letting the world know that they're for the streets and they don't care about the law. And we've seen tons and tons of this on social media. They walk around butt naked thinking that everybody is supposed to respect you and take you seriously. We're not going to do that, sweetie. You're breaking the law and you're going to do time in jail. So, at the end of the day, if you do something wrong, you better be held accountable for your own actions. And it just seems like when it comes to Tierra, I don't think she's going to be held accountable for her own actions. And it's so obvious to me that she's not going to do that. Tierra Young Allen is a 29-year-old woman from Houston, Texas. She is a popular TikTok star who is also known as a well-known truck driver, often seen dropping off and picking up luxury items, attempting to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items from the rental car company the following day. Allen faced a difficult and tense encounter according to her mother, Tina Baxter, who is advocating for her daughter's release. Allen was met with an aggressive and rude rental car agent who demanded an undisclosed sum of money in exchange for her belongings. I think that might have been a result of her yelling and screaming at the person because you know black people were known for raising our voice very loudly. If you reveal your actions in front of people, you're going to face a harsh punishment for your own wrongdoings. And so she must have think that getting into a heated altercation with a car salesman in Dubai was going to help solve her case. But it ended up getting her in trouble and arrested. So who looks stupid now? And her mother and her lawyer, they're not helping this either. They're making the situation even worse. Her lawyer is a simp because he believes that what she did was not wrong. So instead of understanding their country and their rules and their law, he thinks that they shouldn't punish her with a crime as the men are being punished with. Yes, they should. If they want to be treated like a man, they're gonna act like one. No, no, no. Let me scratch that. If they act like men, they're gonna get treated like one. If they committed horrible crimes as men are doing, they're gonna receive the exact same treatment. In the face of this intimidating situation, Allen allegedly raised her voice in a response to the agent's behavior. Unfortunately, what may seem like a normal reaction in some circumstances proved to be a serious offense in Dubai, where raising one's voice in public is strictly prohibited, particularly for women. Consequently, Ellen was charged for screaming in public, a crime that carries the possibility of prison time, fines, and deportation if she is convicted. Sheesh. Now, remember when I said that in certain countries that their laws are very restricted? They are. So, getting into an altercation with a salesman is a bad idea on our part because you knew exactly what you were doing. You and your bougie friends were in a car accident, fooling around with trucks, and you knew the rules and you knew not to do those things, and you did it anyway. I don't care if you're this big TikToker that just because you're famous, that doesn't mean that everyone is irrelevant around you. Like, you're gonna have to act your age and grow up a bit. And stop thinking that just because you have a BBL, you could just do all of that craziness in other countries where you know they're not allowed to do that. Look at Udana, for example, where there are a bunch of 304s running around over there to a concert where Megan Thee Stallion, I forgot the other lady's name, she's an R&B singer. She is now becoming a 304, claiming that she wants to be feminine by allow a feminist act by exposing her body and booty, try to get people to act just like her, and the rest are in concerts, on stage, shaking their thought pockets, looking like 50 whores over there. I'm sorry that I said that, but it's the truth. There are a lot of damaged goods from the US to a country that is respected, that don't play that type of nonsense, and they did it anyway. And this is exactly why I don't respect Megan Thee Stallion or any other 304s in the industry that think that sexing up their images is gonna take them seriously. No, we won't. And no man wants to marry you if you act like that. If you do, you do it in the bedroom, but not in public. The point I'm trying to make here is that if you want to be a hoe in America and if you go to a country that does not allow that type of stuff, you better be prepared to deal with consequences. Because unfortunately, she effed around and found out. Case has attracted attention and concern with the community activists stepping in to highlight the stark contrast in the legal system between Dubai and the United States. While such incidents may be seen as minor misunderstanding, elsewhere Dubai's legal system is rooted in theocracy and has strict enforcement of cultural norms and customs. So I think basically what he's trying to do is make it seem like their law enforcement and their rules of the country is very strict, that you don't like the fact that they're strict and you want them to be like the US where everyone is running around crazy, getting arrested, acting out of control without being held accountable for their own actions. Like, you literally don't know their rules and their law in their countries. Because if you want to judge a country that doesn't represent the US standards, then you're the problem. I will advise you to do some education before going into a country that you know nothing about by completely disrespecting the area, the people, their culture. Like, why? The situation has become a source of distress for Ellen's family, with her mother expressing anxiety and sleepless nights over her daughter's well being.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
The young woman's passport has been confiscated and she is currently under a travel ban pending the outcome of the investigation. Now, you see, the mom is making it seem like her daughter's actions is justifiable. If only her mother knew what her daughter was up to, I think she would have been upset. However, if you have a good mom with common sense, and if you try to tell your child not to do those things and they went and did it anyway, they're going to have to deal with the consequences on their own instead of them asking you for help. Since they're adults, they need to make mistakes on their own and learn from the mistakes and not repeat the same cycles. But it's unfortunate nowadays they don't want to do that. So I feel like the mom is at fault for how she is raising her daughter to be this way. It's pretty much showing all of that. Ryder Sterling, CEO of Detained in Dubai, an organization providing assistance to those facing legal issues in the UAE, is also involved in Ellen's case. Sterling explained that the rental car agencies in Dubai have allegedly targeted perceived wealthy foreigners to extort cash settlements, which adds another layer of complexity to Ellen's predicament. So basically, they're saying that even though they are involved in this case, they try to renegotiate her release of being detained. Well, we don't know how long this is going to be, but in my honest opinion, I think she still is not being held accountable for her own actions because let me tell you something. The women in the West were never held accountable for their own actions. And when they do, they blame the men for everything instead of taking responsibilities for their own actions. And it's starting to show just how much women in the US get away with every single thing instead of them owning up their accountabilities. Because let's face it, accountability is everyone's kryptonite. And it's starting to show just that. And it's really sad to me that how you go to a country and think that you can do whatever you want without dealing with the heavy dose of consequences. The social media is like their scapegoats. Basically, they can just go on TikTok, try to call themselves getting men's attention by flaunting their fake BBLs because they work for a male dominant company. But what gets me is that I was watching the Pink Book Lessons, shout out to her, when she played a clip of her experience in the workforce on TikTok, claiming that she's been sexually harassed in the job. Well, maybe if you stop wearing tight yoga pants and yoga shorts to work and stop wearing tight clothing to show off your big booty and stop flexing, stop twerking, stop posting thirst traps on social media, then you would have gotten more respect in the workplace if you stopped doing all of that. Because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't care for your social media. But it's obvious to me that they might. Because if you go into a workplace, you better be prepared to get fired if they found out some more stuff about you from your past. If you're doing OnlyFans, if you're doing Coin, you know, if they found some stuff in your linking tree, in your bio, you better be prepared to get your last paycheck from your job because your past will always come back to haunt you. I'm not making this up. As the situation unfolds, Ellen's family hopes that the government will intervene and supports their efforts to bring her back home safely. In the meantime, they grapple with the challenges posed by the strict legal system in Dubai and the impact it can have on seemingly innocuous actions. We really don't know how long they're going to detain her, but I just hope that she learns a lesson by not doing those things. If not, then she's going to continue to go down the dark path that she's already going in. So, the biggest thing I learned from this article is don't break the law. Just don't break the law. That's all there is to it. Don't think just because you're going to Philippines, Thailand, Japan, Dubai, Uganda, Africa, Europe, like Egypt, you name it. Those type of countries don't play with that mess. I'm telling you right now. Stop disrespecting countries if you don't know about them. If you don't want to respect their roles and their culture, don't go. You can stay in this toxic world, which is called America, and you could, continue to act a fool and get arrested and not being held accountable. And while you're going to another country and disrespecting it and destroying it with your toxic Western behavior. There's a reason why people don't respect women in America because of this. Now, as a black man, I'm just gonna say this, and whether you like it or not, black women are the least married material women in America because of these type of behaviors. I'm telling you the truth. You may not like it, you may not agree with it, but it's facts. Y'all are the least married material in the world because of your actions. You're loud, you're ghetto, you're ratchet, you're obnoxious, and you don't know when to take accountability for your own actions. And that's the sad part. It's not just black women, it's the human race in general. Like, nobody is lacking accountability when it comes to the law. So, for Tierra, I don't think she's going to learn a lesson from this. I'm just making this video to bring awareness to this whole situation. So, what's y'all thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below. Link to this site down below. I'm going to holler at y'all.